Today I have so much that you need to know about Princess Cruises because they've got two huge announcements. The weather is playing a huge role in your travel if you're going to be going on a cruise, I would say for the next week. So make sure that you stick around for that. We have so much to talk over, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday. It is January 22nd of 2026. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please be sure to click on that subscribe button? And if you appreciate my updates, all the useful information I share, will you please give this video a thumbs up? Now, first off, let's talk about the travel because it is so urgent. If you're new around here, we are flying tomorrow. We were flying from the Salt Lake City airport to JFK. From JFK down to Buenos Aires. We leave Friday. We get there early on Saturday morning to board the ship on Sunday. And in real life, I would like to start adding in 2 days as a cushion, so when Gordon eventually reaches the time that he's going to retire, we will start doing that. But for now, we're a little tight on time. And so we have been following the weather report along, and we should be just fine flying tomorrow with the current projections for this weather system that is supposed to really be impacting more than half of the United States. But here's what I want you to keep in mind. So first off, pay attention if you have flights booked clear up until the 28th. So yesterday the airlines started sending out warning messages, update messages, whatever you want to call them, to people who are booked in flights who are going to be going through an airport that can potentially be impacted by this storm. We did not receive one for going through JFK. We think we'll be fine. We've been looking at the weather maps, like I said. But a lot of people, the list of airports that it looks like is going to be impacted by this storm is lengthy. And so if you don't have the app for the airline that you are going to be flying on, and not just for our cruise to Antarctica, but for any cruise that you're going on, or if you're going to see family or travel for business, pay a lot of attention. Download that app and pay attention to it. Pay attention to your email because they are going to send you updates, and look at the list of the airports that could potentially be impacted, because if you don't receive the warning, you still need to be on top of the situation, okay? Right now, the airlines are making it so that if you can switch to other flights that will get you where you need to go by the time you need to be there, they are not charging you any extra fees for that. And so a lot of people have made the changes that they need to make in order to be to the cruise that they want to be at or the location. The other thing to keep in mind, if you have Princess EZair flights, for example, I know this because of our group that is going to be sailing from Buenos Aires on board the ship on Sunday, and then we sail on Monday. A lot of people have had their flights booked with Princess EZair. Usually, you have to call Princess EZair in order to get them to make the changes on the flights. Yesterday, I called Princess EZair and asked them about making flight changes to someone that was going to go right through the storm, and they said, you know what, we want to talk to the guest. So I told the guest, you know, you're going to have to call Princess, and she called the airlines instead. Love that, and they changed them. So now several people have been able, that were booked with Princess EZair, were able to call the airline directly and get their flights changed, and that is with more than just one airlines. Okay, I know people with American, Delta, and United that have been able to call the airline directly, even though they were booked with Princess EZair, and get their flights rerouted. Okay, so make sure that you stay on top of that, and don't just look once and then think you're fine. You really have to follow the storm, because in some areas it's actually delayed a little bit. So you might thought, oh, the storm is going to be over by the time we're going. You really need to follow along and make sure that you know what's going on with the weather. Okay, now the next thing we got, this is big, and I really can't decide which one to start with. So I'm going to start with the, because we brought it up in our live. Someone asked about it on our live on Monday evening. And Princess, almost a year ago, maybe over a year ago, announced their 60th anniversary cruise. Princess Cruises started in 1965, so 2025 is their 60th anniversary. They announced that they would be doing, I believe it was the December 6th sailing of the Royal Princess on a 14-day Mexican Riviera cruise. It's because Princess started in the Mexican Riviera. I coined that term, Mexican Riviera, and that's where they started. So that was supposed to be that cruise. Well, I want to say I was looking through my papers, couldn't quite find it, but not that long before that cruise, Princess decided that wasn't going to be the anniversary cruise after all. And actually, I think it wasn't booked the way they expected it to be booked, because the price kept going down, 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 down. And I know because a Let's Go family member was on it. He's kind enough to book his cruises with me, and we repriced his cruise. I can't tell you how many times, but several times, got a much better price. And so they moved it to the March 7th sailing of the Royal Princess, and that was supposed to be their 60th anniversary cruise. It's supposed to be really special. When they first announced the cruise, the Temptations were going to come because they were also celebrating their 60th anniversary of being a group, and they were going to have lots of celebrations, lots of fun things to make that cruise extra special. So a lot of the people who were going on that December sailing moved to that March 7th sailing. Well, here we are. Today is January 22nd, like I told you, and just a couple of days ago, when I was too busy with family to do a video, Princess made the announcement that we're really not doing anything for the 60th anniversary. After all, let me tell you what the official statement says. We are looking forward to welcoming you aboard as we approach a truly special landmark to our history. To ensure that the Princess community can join the festivities, what began as a limited series of commemorative sailings, it was really just one, is expanding into a fleet-wide 60th anniversary celebration. I apologize. What that means, and this is for the people that were booked on that who are booked or were on that March 7th sailing, your upcoming cruise will no longer be a specifically themed anniversary sailing. However, you will still enjoy the exceptional service and signature experiences that define a Princess vacation. You will also be among the first to enjoy our new fleet-wide anniversary highlights. Okay, what do you get? Okay, so you've paid more for this cruise because it's supposed to be your 60th anniversary sailing cruise, right? You get a special dessert. You get a special entertainment events featuring tributes to our iconic history. So they're going to have some songs, people probably wearing princess-looking clothes. So we got that, and then commemorative merchandise. So in other words, you can spend more money on the cruise if you want to. So this clearly has completely changed the face of this, and they announced it after final payment was due. So as one of my Let's Go family members that's been communicating with me about the situation said, bait and switch. It is bait and switch. If you wanted to make that announcement, they should have made it before the final payment date so that people could cancel if they didn't want to pay a premium price to go on the cruise that's not going to be what it was said it was going to be. Okay, the price has also gone up. Has gone down a lot, of course, since they made this announcement. And so the people that were talking with me were saying that they had 4 rooms booked for their family and friends, and the cruise has gone down by hundreds of dollars. And so they have emailed Princess, not received any communication back. And so I'm anxious to hear how this sorts out for them. But I really think, in the very least, Princess needs to refare everyone who made their final payment on that cruise to the lowest cruise rate that cruise ever sails for. And I don't usually sail that after final payment. Say that I really do think that one of the benefits of booking in advance, making your final payment, is because you're going to go on that cruise. You know you're going to have the cabin you want. You know you're going to have the experience that you want. But this time, you're not getting what they said you were going to get. So I am really looking forward to an announcement. Somebody share with me if you're booked on this cruise and you received anything from Princess saying that they are going to do anything to remedy the situation for you. Now, we are going to go on the Sapphire Princess, and in January, well, clearly on Sunday, but I'm guessing that they're not going to have those 60th anniversary desserts on board, or the entertainment, or the merchandise to buy, but I'm going to let you know if they do, so that you know what that looks like. But I am a little bit disappointed in this. I thought that they would have hit this out of the ballpark, because it is such a special milestone. A couple of years ago, Holland America celebrated that it was their 75th anniversary of sailing in Alaska, and they did a really good job with that. And so let me know if you happen to be booked on that cruise, what you think about the whole situation. let me know in the comments what you think about it, even if you're not booked on that cruise. The next announcement I have, well, maybe it will help things like this not happen again. I really hope so. So the president of Princess Cruise Line, his name is Gus Antarka. I hope I am pronouncing his last name correctly. They announced at Princess that they are making several upper management changes, and one of the things that they are doing is they are now creating the role to have a COO, a Chief Operations Officer. The gentleman that they have coming to do that joined Princess Cruises earlier this month, so just here in 2026, and for the 5 years prior to that, he was the group president of Ultimate Vacation Club for Hyatt Hotels. And so what they are hoping to do is bring together the hotel, the food and beverage, the onboard revenue, of course, and the entertainment, and kind of coordinate that a little bit better. So one thing that they did, so they have got this Chief Operations Officer coming, and with that, so that gentleman is going to report to Gus Antarka, and stick with me because I think this is really important that you know what all I'm thinking with this. They are also going to separate entertainment from the hotel operations and guest experience. So they have got a new gentleman named Paul Lamb to be the Vice President of Entertainment. And so they're going to have Paul Lamb, Vice President of Entertainment, along with Sammy Cohen, Vice President of Food and Beverage, Alfredo Jimenez, who is the Vice President of Onboard Revenue, all report to the Chief Operations Officer. And then they also have a person, Andreas Dimke, maybe D-Y-M-K-E, who is now the Senior Director of Culinary Experience, as well as Sarah Hancock, who has been promoted to the Director of Beverage Operations. Maybe that's who we need to write about the cans of soda. And then also Nick Shrives has been promoted to the Associate Vice President of Guest Services and Arrival Experience. So now we have someone who is going to hopefully coordinate the whole Princess experience. Why do I think that's a really big deal? Because I'm seeing a lot of loopholes from the standpoint that there is such a different, there are some things that are very similar on a Princess cruise. If you have been on several Princess cruises, it truly is. If you get on board, you feel like you feel that little bit of just magic that happens on a Princess cruise, but there are some very marked differences. Some of the ships that you go on, you get on board the ship and, you swipe your card. There are people there to welcome you, answer your questions. Sometimes you get on, you start looking for somebody to say, which is the main dining room that's open for lunchtime on embarkation day? Oh, the main dining room's not open. It's just the buffet. When really the main dining room is open. So there is such a difference between what people know and what the situation is. On some ships you get the cans of soda. You don't have to pay for them no matter what package you have. Others, you're not going to get a can of soda without paying for it. You have to have the fountain soda. And so I am really hoping they pull this all together. Another thing that I am really hoping that we see a change with is having someone that can make sure that the website updates correctly, that we can have someone who actually reads the Princess booking confirmations. I can't tell you how many people right now, I send them their Princess booking confirmation and I get an email or a phone call saying, you know what, we had asked you to book the Plus package or the Premier package and it's not on here. You know what? It's not on there right now. I have to look at their booking and promise them that I can see it right there because I can, and hope in the future that that prints out correctly. And so I'm hoping that we can pull a lot of this together. I'm also really hoping that our onboard experience improves a little bit. I'm really hoping that they really focus on guest services, that amazing team that is behind the counter there all of the time. They've had a lot more trouble with that lately. They've got a lot more people that shouldn't be in guest services, so I'm hoping that we can really pay attention to that whole onboard services at the same time. So when I complain about something, I always say what they do an amazing job of. There are people who are at guest services that I would hire in a heartbeat if I had my own company. There are people who go so far out of their way to make guests happy, make everything right for them, that it's remarkable. The crew who is on board the ship, as a very general rule, the cabin stewards are amazing. They're happy. They greet you in the hallway. Everywhere from there to the people that bring your drinks, to the wait staff in the main dining room, specialty dining, up in the buffet. They do an excellent job. And so while I think things are going great, I am really hoping that this brings together a whole lot of things and makes everything better. So I thought this would be really fun. In the comments, let me know what you think that they really could take as a note to improve on, and what they do an excellent job. The last thing that I am really hoping to see is, you're on board the ship, and the whole time, a couple of days, usually maybe even 1 or 2 days into the voyage, you get that customer survey placed on your bed. Like, what are we doing great? The room steward really wants you to fill it out for them. Same with other crew members on the ship. They really want you to take the time to fill out that survey for them, to say what they're doing great, put their name on there, because Princess does so much of the promoting and recognition of employee service based on those papers that get turned in, as well as the guest survey at the end of the cruise. And I really am hoping that they'll stand back and take a look at the whole situation of the way they manage their employees and do something a little bit different than really relying on people to fill out those forms, because sometimes people receive excellent service, they give that person a tip, they thank them, and they move on. They either don't get one of those forms or they don't realize how important it is to fill it out. Sometimes you get home, you've got that survey that came. It takes a long time to do that survey. Maybe you can't remember someone's name, and so someone goes unrecognized. So I am really hoping, as they take this whole look at the onboard experience, that they really take a look at the way that they recognize, keep an eye on how their employees are doing, and go out of their way to really improve the way that they recognize them. And that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comments, would you? And make sure you come with us on our cruise. We're going to take you with us. We'll be having live sailaways when we can. If the Wi-Fi is really good, we'll do a live in our cabin and let you know how things are going, and we'll be putting out our videos. So come along with us. It's going to be an amazing voyage to the end of the world. So I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.